From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm Steve Norman reporting. North Korea today issued a threat of a preemptive nuclear strike as a large joint U.S.-South Korean military exercise got underway. It follows tougher UN sanctions on Pyongyang after its most recent nuclear test and missile launch. Troy Stangarone of the Korea Economic Institute tells VOA North Korean leader Kim Jong Un has taken a more belligerent attitude in recent times.
We've seen a change since Kim Jong Un has come to power. The threats have become more specific and more common.
More than 300,000 South Korean and U.S. troops are engaged in the military exercises around which North Korea often issues threats. Prominent Sudanese politician Hassan al-Turabi was buried Sunday following a funeral attended by thousands. Turabi died Saturday of a heart attack at 84. He once played a major role in the 1989 coup that brought President Omar al-Bashir to power. Former First Lady Nancy Reagan, the steadfast partner of the 40th U.S. President Ronald Reagan, died Sunday of congestive heart failure. She was 94. When she was First Lady, she was Mr. Reagan's closest advisor and was always sought to protect him from people who were devious. James Baker was President Reagan's chief of staff, also Secretary of the Treasury.
She was tough, but she had to be tough, and I use that term in the very best way. President Reagan was totally guileless. He never met a person he didn't trust or that he didn't like, and that was one of the secrets of his success, his optimism and his enthusiasm.
President Obama and his wife said Nancy Reagan redefined the role of First Lady. This is VOA News. In U.S. politics, two Democratic candidates for the U.S. presidential nomination, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, said in a Sunday debate they would look forward to running against Republican Donald Trump in the general election. Clinton has at least 1,123 delegates to Sanders' 484. It takes 2,383 delegates to win the party's nomination for president. Among the Republicans, businessman Donald Trump continues to lead the field, winning 12 states, ahead of Ted Cruz with 6, Marco Rubio with 1, and John Kasich with none. European Union leaders meeting with their Turkish counterparts today to discuss efforts to slow the flow of migrants traveling to Europe as thousands remain stranded at the Greece-Macedonia border. The influx of nearly 1 million people arriving by sea in Greece since the beginning of 2015 has European leaders hoping to persuade Turkey to keep migrants from taking that dangerous route and also take back thousands who don't qualify for EU asylum. A leading Turkish newspaper that was staunchly opposed to the country's president has printed its first edition since being seized by authorities. Sunday's edition of Zaman led with a pro-government story and featured a photograph of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. There was little coverage of the previous day's unrest in Istanbul by Zaman supporters and anti-government demonstrators. Portland State University political scientist Peter Bechtold tells VOA he is very familiar with Zaman's work.
They pitch or aim at university-educated people. And it is also published in English where it is called Today's Zaman. I've been assigning it to my students on courses on the Middle East along with other regional newspapers. So it is very disappointing to see that they would be, seized for any reason, and I was not aware of them ever being radical.
The government crackdown is the latest in a series of actions against the opposition media linked to Fethullah Gulen, a Muslim cleric living in exile in the U.S., accused of treason by the Ankara government. An Iranian court has sentenced billionaire Babak Zanjani and 2 other people to death for corruption involving oil sales. Zanjani is accused of pocketing more than $2 billion while making oil sales on behalf of former President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad's government. He was arrested in 2013, shortly after current President Hassan Rouhani took office.
That's the latest world news from VOA.